Welcome back. You're watching Capital Today with me, Ashkir Rahman. And joining me for a topical discussion is Mr. Chan, who's a founder of Exabytes. We are discussing the topic of e-commerce. Well, Chan, before we broke off a commercial just now, we were talking a bit more about the e-commerce landscape in Malaysia.
Right.
More and more people are actually opening up small e-commerce ventures.
Right.
What's the landscape like, especially what kind of industries are they opening online?
Yeah, I think we look at a few spectrum. First of all, I think the populations of the online shoppers is growing tremendously due to few factors. Number one is, I think, the younger populations. They are now basically they are born and grow up in the computer era, so they feel it's so common to do everything online using computers. And secondly, you know, not only the younger age group, we are looking at also the silver age. They are retired and they got nothing to do now. They actually spend a lot of times on mobile devices and tablets and all that. And also, I think number three is the enhancement of technologies. Today, you know, high-speed broadband and also all these affordable smart devices and tablets is everywhere. So with all these few elements you put together, it created a huge online populations. And also, I think for the past few years, the e-commerce business is like popping up, growing up like mushrooms, not only in Malaysia, but generally is everywhere. And with all these new e-commerce commerce, it created a lot more of shopping excitements for all the internet citizens, we call them netizens. So you see, when the demand and supply side put together, that's where the industry is really booming. Yeah.
What's the main driver? I mean, apart from the younger generation are being more open to actually buying stuff online, what are the drivers are actually propelling e-commerce in Malaysia?
I think a few points. Number one is Malaysia started to develop the internet industry and community since like almost 15-20 years ago. So today, in terms of infrastructures and all that, generally is available everywhere and is quite stable. And number two is also we've seen some really huge or big names venturing into e-commerce space. So they actually put in a lot of advertisement money to actually help us educate the markets. People done their first time online shopping through all these channels, and since then they feel the convenience, they feel the savings, and they feel the excitement of waiting for your parcel to arrive. You know?
Yeah, that's very true.
So they done that one time and then see all the good benefits, and definitely they'll do that second time, third time. So that actually created a lot of demands. And also, I think in terms of one of the key components of e-commerce is actually the payment gateway. Yeah, so in Malaysia, overall, the online payment gateway platform is quite mature. It's very well established. Credit card is generally available. Internet banking is available to everyone. So when the platform, the payment gateway platform becomes so convenient, then people feel safe, people feel okay, people feel comfortable to pay online. So all this, when it linked together, it happens together, and it really accelerates the growth of the e-commerce industries.
Pretty much the whole e-commerce industry is booming right now because of there's a lot of factors that play in, especially lately we even have some logistics company, for example, like Bin, where they accept payment when you receive the item.
Pay on delivery.
Yeah. Well, what about when it comes to the kind of shops people open on easy.my? What kind of trend do you see there?
From what you can imagine until what you cannot imagine.
Okay.
I think the common stuff are like apparels, baby products and all that. And we also start seeing people selling day-to-day groceries. And actually, not to forget the day-to-day services we use, from air tickets bookings until cinema, movie ticket bookings. And we're also seeing a lot of traditional business. They started to also leverage on e-commerce technology. For example, our customers who is selling the homemade cookies and kuihs and all that, so they actually create online shops and they start to selling outside the town they live. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Like, for example, 2 days back, we decided to last minute to have a steamboat in our home. So what we do is we open up our online browsers, search in Google for steamboat. Then we found some a restaurant which is actually quite far away, but they offer online services.
Wow.
We actually ordered, then we bank in the money, then the evening they actually deliver the steamboat to our house.
Hassle-free.
Hassle-free, and actually that is changing the behavior, how we shop. For the past, we have to find a restaurant and we have to travel there, spend time there. But now, because of e-commerce, and it's so convenient, it's just a click away or a call away. And on the business side, this also expanded out their business opportunity. For the past, they have to rely on the physical space they have. Like for example, they say they have 10 tables, that's the maximum the customers they can serve.
Yeah.
But because of e-commerce, now they actually can offer delivery services. So their business volume is not only constrained to the physical shops they have.
Yeah, that's quite true. Well, you mentioned earlier about more and more people using mobile e-commerce. Can you share a little bit more about the adoption of mobile e-commerce on top of the normal e-commerce?
Right. So I think conventionally, when you do e-commerce, you have to sit in front of your big computer screens, clicking on the mouse. But because of the mobile internets, because of the 4G, because of the Wi-Fi, and also because of the smart devices, you are no longer online at home.
Only at home, yeah.
No longer doing that. Even you online at home, you're probably sitting at your couch or sofas, playing with your tablets and smartphones. And probably when you are browsing, then you saw the advertisement, or you were looking at Facebook, you saw somebody posting some interesting things. And that's what triggered you to click and see what's happening. Probably that interests you to buy. And that's actually happening on your mobile devices. So with that, you actually create a lot more possibilities. You no longer have to wait until you go back home, or when you back sit in front of the computers, only can do your online shopping. The shopping is just happening like that. It could be when you are waiting in the lifts or waiting in the restaurant for your food to be served, you are just buying something. So which means as online sellers, when you want to embark onto e-commerce, you shall not ignore the mobile part of it. Make sure your platform is also mobile friendly. You are able to accept payments through the mobile platforms.
When it comes to your product, Easy.my, do you actually have a mobile platform, or is that something of an add-on package?
We actually do, and it comes with, we call it a standard package. You get your own web stores, you get your mobile shops, and you also get your Facebook stores. So it's like you subscribe and pay one price, you get the 3 different stores.
So you're pretty much set for
all
the
in
whole
one. All in one.
End-to-end. Well, right now you see more and more SMEs trying to gain an online presence.
Right.
And it's, as much as you want to be online, there's a lot more people trying to be sellable online. How do they actually make themselves more visible?
It always has to start somewhere. So a lot of sellers that we deal with, they actually start with selling online to their customers and friends. So what they do is probably through phone messaging, through posting of social channels and all that, they start to get contents. Then they realize because of the demand is so overwhelming, so they can no longer rely on the manual way where you send me a private message to buy this thing, I give you my contact number through SMS. It's so much hassles. Then they start to think, okay, I need some basic system which can help me automate part of the process, and that's where they need something called shopping carts, and that's how our services come into the pictures.
Well, a lot of people talk about when you have an online store, you can upload all those kind of items for sale. But the biggest challenge so far is actually trying to manage the stock. Do you actually have solutions that integrates with stock management to ensure that you don't oversell and not being able to actually...
Yes, our packages also come with, we call it the inventory management features. So you can actually set how many stocks quantity that's available in your stores. And for some more advanced customers, we actually can do customized integration with their warehousing systems or their point of sale systems.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, a few weeks ago, I actually saw a bunch of very young youngsters, I think in the early 20s. They were having lunch. And while having lunch, they decided to actually watch a movie and start buying tickets online. Would that actually change in the future, where more and more people buy tickets online, do all the services online, and especially on the mobile devices? How how is Exabyte actually going to look at expanding their business, your business, in the near future?
Right. Definitely online is the trends, but I won't say that it will completely replace the conventional way of doing that. There are still a fraction of people still prefer the old-fashioned way, but you are seeing more and more people actually prefer to do things online because it's really convenient. It saves a lot of time. You don't have to queue. So I think as we Exabyte as a service providers, we always get a lot of tractions, but we always remind ourselves, stay focused. What we are really good in doing is actually provide the hosting platform. So in terms of all the different varieties of services like online ticketing, bookings and all that, we would rather let our customers or our partners to really go and explore that features. Yeah.
When you're looking at the services that you're providing right now, in Malaysia itself, most of the users that are more mature are in using online and even e-commerce or even hosting is usually centered in the more developed cities like Kuala Lumpur, Penang, Johor and maybe Kuching. But what about the other areas? Do you actually see a growth rate in those?
Yeah, if you look at the total quantity numbers, definitely big cities you have more customers. But if you analyze it another layer deeper, for example, you analyze based on the users versus the populations, then you realize actually at the more rural areas, the percentage is actually higher. We're also seeing a very interesting trend is that for online shoppings, a big chunk of the shoppers they are not from the big cities. They are from the more rural areas of town and also rural cities. Part of the reason it could be there isn't so many shopping malls or retail outlets that's available out there. So online channel become one of their source for their day-to-day supplies and all that.
Okay. Well, which area outside of these big cities that are actually high growth area right now? Actually,
we see good growth from Sabah and Sarawak. Sometimes it's because of the physical limitations, not like in KL or some big cities. The shopping mall is just 5 minutes away, but in certain area, in order to reach the complex or the shopping complex, you have to travel like an hour by boat. That kind of scenario. And the most irritating part is that you reach there and they tell you, sorry, I don't have a ready stock, so you just look at my catalog. This is happening and that doesn't make sense. So you may as well you go online shoppings where you can compare, you can do the reviews, and a lot of time you get savings.
Well, earlier this year, Canada has actually stopped delivering packages to households, and if you actually want to buy stuff online, it will only be delivered up to the post office, and you have to go pick it up. With something like that, wouldn't it be a challenge for e-commerce in the future?
I think that is not going to happen in Malaysia. When always there's a demand, there's a supply. So because sometimes why they decided to do that is when they go to your house and there's nobody there and wasted the time. But I think that definitely if somebody is willing to pay that extra cost where you can, let's say, set a fixed time for the delivery, definitely somebody is willing to take up their services.
Well, you've been in the web hosting in business since early of 2000, 2001, and until now. How do you expect the whole web hosting and the e-commerce landscape to change for the next 10 years to come?
I think the demand for hosting is always there, but the way or how the hosting is presented to the customers might emerge or change accordingly. For instance, for the past, customers they just buy the basic, we call the vanilla flavor of the hosting, and they put in their own software and contents. But we are seeing a trend where the end business users or even the end individual users, they are no longer wanted to have that vanilla, the basic hosting and put their own contents. They rather to buy a services which is already pre-configured and all that, so that they don't have to worry so much about the software and hardware aspect of it. So what I'm saying is that the taste or the requirements is changing. For the past, everything you prefer to DIY. Now you just need something which is really simple and one
fast.
click away and fast, and you save time, save the hassle. Yep.
So pretty much it's moving away from customization to more off-the-shelf.
Off-the-shelf standard product, and you use it as a services. Yep.
Well, one more thing that is interesting to see is that the cloud computing arena that you mentioned. Do you actually see that becoming more and more pickup users?
Definitely, and that kind of trend is already happening. 3 years back then, I still remember when I talk to customers what is cloud hosting, they'll ask all the funny kinds of questions. They'll ask you what's cloud hosting, is it safe, is it you host it in the sky or satellite?
That's an interesting way of looking at things. Yeah.
Because that time cloud is a newly invented word, is a gimmick, is a buzzword. But throughout the years, I think the community, the government, and also the providers, they put in a lot of effort to educate the audience. So today they no longer ask what is cloud hosting. They'll ask what can I do with cloud? How can I do more? How can I achieve more savings? Or how can I take advantage of your cloud to scale up my business? They're asking a different questions. So which telling us that the awareness is already there, and they are ready to actually utilize the cloud services.
Malaysia is only a few more years to 2020 where we hope to be a developed nation.
Right.
Do you actually foresee more and more users or even more and more competitors in the landscape of hosting and e-commerce?
I don't foresee there will be more competitors in terms of numbers, but I'm expecting there are bigger size competitors, I think partly through the merger and acquisitions of the industry. In terms of the total, the user base, I'm expecting it continues to grow. If you look at the ratios of SMEs who are having a website or a web presence compared to the total numbers of SMEs we have, our ratio is still at low stage compared to other developed country. So I think on the other hand, it's a good sign. That means still there are room for us to grow and to capture the market. Yeah.
Well, we're running short on time, but Exabyte being a Penang company, and you're also from Penang, can you share with us at least one place where, if you visit Penang, where would you eat? I mean, the hawker food in Penang is awesome.
Definitely is the Georgetown, the heritage city, where you can find varieties of street foods, hawker foods, no matter it's a Chinese food or Indian food or Malay food, and it's at very, very affordable price.
So it's not Jalan Gurni?
It's many places you can find. Yeah, Gurni Drive is more towards for the tourists, where they will charge you a slightly higher price.
If you want to feel local, where would you recommend?
You can go to places like Lebu Aminin, or even like Beach Street area or Padang Kota area. We can find the famous mee goreng sotong.
Okay, so there you have it. Thanks, Mr. Chan, for actually coming in and sharing about the web hosting services that you have.
My pleasure.
And also, the e-commerce is actually booming in Malaysia.
Thank you.
So there you have it. Chan has actually shared with us. If you want to feel like a local in Penang, go to the places where he just mentioned, and to propel your business in the future, don't forget to actually look at maybe some of the services that are actually supplied by Exabyte. So there you have it. Right now, we're going to take a quick commercial break. If you want to find out more about interesting business news in Malaysia, stay tuned with us on Capital Today.
Thank you.